So here we go. In this question number 14, 15, 16 and 17, they are matching paragraphs. They are never in order. They are never in order. Then we need to choose the, let's say, match the information according to the paragraph, what the information is. And here this is gap fill question, summary completion. And this question is 97 to 99%.
So please screen share only then.
No screen share.
Yes.
मेरोमा त भइरहेछ त
मेरोमा छैन सर।
Let's see, please. Don't you see the screen?
छैन सर।
Janani?
हजुर सर।
No screen share?
Yes sir.
Srijana, do you see the screen?
Yes, sir, I'm seeing. Janani, you can come again. Is there any problem?
Srijana, can you help her?
No, she can leave and come again, sir.
Okay.
She did, right?
Okay. Go back to the question, and we have got matching paragraphs, 100% never in order. And another one is summary completion 97 to 99. Sometimes one or two questions, they are not in order. They are, let's say, knowingly or intentionally, let's say, set not in order. One question, for example, you get answer below, and the second answer you will get the step up, like that. The examiner plays one trick here. We need to be very careful in summary completion. And the last one is matching features. We need to match the name. And let's see, it will not be quite difficult. Okay, here we go. Reading passage 2. You should spend about 20 minutes on questions 14 to 26, which are based on reading passage 2 below. Should we try to bring extinct species back to life is the question. Now look, is it possible to bring back to those extinct or let's say disappeared species back to their life? What does the writer say here? The passenger pigeon was a legendary species flying in vast numbers across North America with potentially many millions within a single flock. Their migration was once one of the nature's greatest do you see spectacles. Sadly, the passenger pigeon's existence came to an end. Okay, these came to an end. They disappeared, came to an end on 1st September 1940 when the last living specimen died at Cincinnati Zoo. Geneticist Ben Novak is here. Ben Novak led research on the ambitious project. He has one ambitious project which currently it aims to bring the bird back to life through a process known as de-extinction. This is new process, this is new plan. Okay, the basic premise involves using cloning technology to turn the DNA, okay, to turn the DNA and DNA of extinct animals into a fertilized embryo. They are planning to turn on the embryo to the fertilized embryo, which is carried by the nearest relative still in existence. And those animals who are nearest to them, they are still existing. This DNA is going to be tested. And this, in this case, the abducted ventral pigeon, before being born as a living, breathing animal, passenger pigeon are one of the pioneering species in this field, but they are far from the only ones on which this cutting edge technology being tried. So the central theme of this paragraph is that there is the new project, and the project is de-extinction, and they are trying to bring back the passenger pigeon. It has disappeared. Okay, and another step what they are doing is they are turning their DNA to their nearest relatives. These two meanings, two, let's say, two different things, themes are here. Let's go to the question and read. We need to match this one. We need to match. So a reference to how further disappearance, there is no further disappearance of multiple species could be avoided. This paragraph doesn't talk about this multiple disappearance. It only talks about the passenger pigeon. Explanation of a way of reproducing an extinct animal. Exactly, they are here and using DNA of only that species. They are going to use DNA of that passenger pigeon. So the answer here we get, the answer here, the answer here we get, or we got the answer here. So answer for question number 15 is, question number 15 answer is A. Got the point? And read the two questions as well. Reference to the habitat which has suffered following the extinction of the species. There is nothing about the region that suffered from the extinction of a species. Mention of the exact point at which a particular species became extinct. Yes, the typical example is the pigeon one, okay? So here we get two answers. We get to answer question number 17. This information is in paragraph number A, and question number 15. Question number 15 is also in paragraph number A. So the information of question number 15 is also in paragraph number A. They are going to use this DNA, and the particular example is there. So we get two answers. All right, and go back, let's say go below to the other questions and see there is no woolly mammoth revival project, nothing about woolly mammal and its revival. And there was the name Ben Novak. Okay, this Ben Novak, what he says, reintroduction and extinct species to its original habitat could improve the health of a particular species living. Nothing about the health, whatever. There is no information. It is important to concentrate on the causes of an animal's extinction. A species brought back from extinction could have an important benefit. There is no information. The current efforts of preserving biodiversity are insufficient. So there is no, only name is there given or in the first paragraph Ben Nova, but no information is mentioned. Therefore, from the first paragraph, only two questions are taken. That are question number 15, question number uh, 15 and 17 or whatever. Okay, 15 and 17. So we have done paragraph number A and continue reading paragraph B. In Australia, the thylacine, more commonly known as the Tasmanian tiger, is another extinct creature which genetic scientists are striving to bring back. They are striving to bring back to this tiger. There is no carnivore now in Tasmania that fills the niche which thylacine once occupied. Explain, okay, Michelle Archer of the University of the New South Wales. He points, okay, this is the main information. What he points? He points out that the decree uh, he points out that in the decades since the thylacine went extinct, there has been a spread in a dangerously delay, mm, debilitating facial tumor syndrome, which threatens the existence of the Tasmanian devils. So it talks about the another species, and he points out that there is that in the decades since the thylacine went extinct, there has been a spread in dangerously debilitating or debilitating uh, facial tumor syndrome, which threatens the existence of the Tasmanian devils. The island's other notorious resident, thylacis, would have prevented this spread. Okay, if this thylacine did not, let's say, extinct, they would have prevented this spread because they would have killed significant numbers of Tasmanian devils. If that contagious cancer had popped up previously, it would have burned out in whether region is started. The return of thylacis to Tasmania could help to ensure the devils are never again subjected to risks of this kind. So, in this paragraph, the central theory is that this Tasmanian tiger is particularly known as thylacine. It disappeared. After the disappearance of this species, there has become another problem. So this problem has, or this situation has killed the Tasmanian devils. And what does the writer say? If thylacines or the Tasmanian tigers were there, there wouldn't be such problem, is the text. Let's see. Go to the question and we get the answer, I guess. A reference to how further disappearance of multiple species would have avoided. There is nothing about the disappearance. Reference to the habitat which has suffered from the extinction of the species. A reference of the habitat that there is no clear information. It talks about another situation. There is nothing about holy mammoth revival. And let's go here. Michelle Archer, yes, what he says. Reintroducing an extinct species to its original habitat could improve the health of the particular species living there. Particular species reintroducing. There is no clear information again. Uh, let's see. Reintroduction of the extinct, the thylacis, they disappeared, and there has come another problem, and it is somehow similar to reintroduction of an extinct species to its original habitat that could improve the health of the particular species. So this could help to, yes, because there was the problem. This is in this paragraph or this text. Mm, what happened? Okay. So question number, this reintroduction, the writer says, or the Michelle Archer says that reintroduction of these animals would avoid this problem. Uh, question number 23. Question number 23 is B. Question number 23 is B. It completely says the same. And here we have been asked to write, you may use any letter more than once. It is important to consider on the causes of an animal's extinction. Nothing about the causes. A species brought back from extinction could have an important beneficial impact on the vegetation of the habitat. Yeah, it seems like that. Our current efforts at preserving biodiversity are insufficient. Question number 25 also, is it? No. Let's see. It seems somehow similar, but not quite sure. The species brought back from extinction could have an important beneficial impact on the vegetation of the habitat. It's not quite clear. So, this Michel Acker says reintroduction and extinct species to its original habitat could improve the health of a particular species living there. So, this is clearly given. Go back to the question. In 25 is still not sure. We shall be considering it later. Go to paragraph number C now and read. If extinct species can be brought back to life, can humanity begin to correct the damage it has caused to the natural world over the past few millennia? The idea of de-extinction is what we can reverse this process, bringing species that no longer exist back to life, says Beth. Okay, we have got another one, Beth Isperio, University of California, Santa Cruz. So what does she say? Um, the idea of de-extinction is that we can reverse this process. We can reverse this process, bringing species that no longer exist back to life, says Beth uh, Saprio of University of California, Santa Cruz Genomics Institute. I don't think that we can do this. She is not sure. She has a doubt. There is no way to bring back something that is 100% identical to a species that went extinct a long time ago. Exactly ल्याउन चाहिँ गाह्रो छ भन्दैछ. A more practical approach for long extinct species is to take the DNA of existing species as a template, ready for the insertion of standards of extinct animal DNA to create something new, a hybrid based on the living species, but which looks another acts like animal died out. So this is not sure to bring back exactly what happened, okay? But some similar can be, she says. And we need to now we need to decide the answer. And here we have two answers. The reference to how further disappearance of multiple species could be avoided. Nothing about the measures she talks about. A reference to a habitat which has suffered from the extinction of the species. There is no information yet. So these questions are not given here. And holy mammothum, it is not here. We haven't got this question. But here we got this Beth Isperio. It is important to consider on the causes of animal extinction. Does she talk about this? She talks about this, I guess. On the causes. A species brought back from extinction could have an important benefit. She doesn't talk about this. Our current effort at preserving biodiversity are not sufficient yet. She says exactly the same. And our steps are not quite sufficient. Now, question number 26 is C. And question number 24, it is important to concentrate on the causes of animal extinction. Yes, this is also exactly the same. So she talks about this, and we can use one letter more than once. Question number 24 is C. And we have one question to match here. Okay. The species brought back from extinction could have an important beneficial. We have not still got this information. Let's go back to the passage and read another paragraph. We have done this. And this complicated process and questionable outcome begs the question, what is the actual point of this technology? For us, the goal has always been replacing the extinct species with a suitable replacement, explains Novak. Novak comes again and says, what he says, look here, Novak, here is the information. When it comes to breeding, band trail pigeons scatter and make maybe 1 or 2 nests per hectares, whereas passenger pigeons were very social and would make 10,000 or more nests in 1 hectare. Since the disappearance, he says, of this key species, ecosystem of the uh, eastern US have suffered, and lack of the disturbance caused by thousands of passenger pigeons wrecking trees and branches means there has been minimal need uh, for regrowth. This left forest stagnant and therefore unwelcoming to the plants and animals, which able to help regenerate the forest after a disturbance. According to Novak, hybridized band trial pigeon with the added nesting habits of the passenger pigeon could in theory reestablish that forest disturbance, thereby creating a habitat necessary for a great many of the native species to thrive. So reintroducing these species would greatly help to other species to living there. So here we get the information. We have the clear information here. Okay. A reference to how further disappearance of multiple species could be avoided. There is no a reference to habitat which has suffered from the extinction of the species. So the particular eastern US, the region it is suffering from here. This is the clear meaning. Question number 16 answer is in paragraph number. It is in paragraph number D. Question number 16 is in paragraph number D. Is in paragraph number D. Okay, look here. We have one question remaining here. In Novak, here there is no Olemomathum revival project. Now here it says a species brought back from extinction could have an important beneficial impact on the vegetation of its habitat. So this is the clear information we get. Novak clearly says in paragraph number D this information. So question number 25. The question number 25 is A. Got the point? Remember, question number 27, sorry, 23, 24, 25, and 26. We have done 4 questions. We shall not come back to these questions. And here we have clear questions remaining. One question is question number 14. Continue reading paragraph number E. Another popular candidate of this technology is the Olemomathum. Okay. Candidate for this technology is the Olemomathum. We have exactly got this. Now, gap-fill question begins from here. George, professor at Harvard Medical School and leader of the Olemomathum Revival Project. Olemomathum Revival Project is here. Has been focusing on cold resistance. The main way in which the extinct Olemomathum and its nearest living relative, the Asian elephant, differ by pointing which genetic traits made it possible for Momathum to survive the ice climate of the um, Chandra. The project's goal is to return Momathums or a Momathum-like species to the area. So the Olemomathum project is trying to bring back these mammal, okay, or this species. Let's see the question here. We have been asked to write no more than 2 words for each passage for the answer. Holy Mamatham Revival Project, Professor George and his team are trying to identify genetic traits which enable the Mamatham to live in the tundra. So here we get the answer, genetic. See here, this is exactly said genetic traits, GENETIC TRAITS, right? Genetic traits. GENETIC, genetic TRAITS, genetic traits. The findings could help to preserve the Momatham's close relative and endangered Asian elephant. That's fine. According to Church, introducing Asian elephant to the tundra would involve certain physical adaptation to minimize. Minimize means reduce or control. Minimize. Okay, what does it minimize? Let's see. Introducing Asian elephants to the tundra would involve certain physical adaptation to minimize. To survive in the tundra, the species would need to have the mammoth-like features, thicker hair, of the reduced size. What is reduced size? Leg or this are more. Okay. Now, here are the questions. In the same one, we guess. We read up to this area. My highest priority would be preserving the endangered Asian elephant, said Charles, expanding their range to the huge ecosystem to the tundra. There is no information. Necessary adaptation. Now we got the adaptations. From here, the question is taken. Adaptation would include smaller ear, thicker hair, we get thicker hair, and extra insulating fat. Extra insulating fat, all for the purpose of reducing heat loss in the tundra, and all traits found in this now extinct woolly mammoth. Okay, let's go to the question. There are much question answers. According to this, introducing Asian elephant to tundra would involve certain physical adaptation to minimize. What does it minimize? Minimize purpose of reducing heat loss. So this is not in order. Okay. Here, smaller ears is there. To survive in the tundra, the species would need to have the momentum-like features of thicker hair, of a reduced size. What is reduced size here? Reducing heat, nothing heat. We got smaller ears. Smaller means reduced ears. Here answer is not in order. So this is a great trap. This is a trap. One question is not in order. Sorry. One question is not in order. So here question number 20 is reduce smaller. Question number 20 is EA, EARS ears, and another one is reduce N or more. There is the question, and that was insulating fat or something after this. Insulating fat. Question number 23. Reduced ear is here. We have got the quite questionnaire. I am getting unnecessary notification, by the way. Let's see. The question is not in order, okay? Smaller ear, thicker hair, and extra insulating fat. More extra means more insulating fat. See the spelling insulating, INSULATING, insulating fat. Question number 21 is insulating, insulating fat, and then this minimize heat loss. Heat loss, this is not in order. Look here, all for the purpose of reducing heat loss. Heat loss is not in order. So this is the great trap that the examiners, they always do one or two questions. Okay, so heat loss, heat loss. So these questions, question number 19, not in order, and then repopulating the tundra with mammothum or Asian elephant, mammothum hybrids would also have an impact on the environment, which could help to reduce temperature. One, to reduce temperature, and what is the another one? And decrease. What is there? Let's read back. This repopulation of the tundra and boreal forest of Eurasia and North America with large mammoth could also be useful factor in reducing carbon emissions. One is carbon emission, another one is temperature. Elephants punch holes through snow and knock down trees, which encourages grass growth. This grass would growth would reduce temperature and mitigate emission. Okay, emission or carbon emission is the same. You can write carbon emission or emissions. Both are the meaningful answers here. Question number 26 answer, CARBON, carbon, EMISSIONS, carbon emissions or emissions only. Any answer can be correct. So we have one last question remaining in this one. So a reference to how further disappearance of multiple species could be avoided. There is nothing about preventive measures. While the prospect of bringing extinct mammal back to life might capture imaginations, it is of course far easier to try to save the existence. This talks about the last question, or let's say there is information. It talks about the measures. Okay, which merely threaten with existence. Many of the technologies that people have in mind when they think about de-extinction can be useful of the genetic reduces, and this spirit prefers to focus on the debate how the emerging technology could be used to fully understand the various species point actions of the last or first place. So this is information is in the paragraph number F. Question number 14 answer is question number 14 answer is in paragraph number what was the last paragraph? F. So we have done the questions. Okay. Now I am going to check the answers. Let's say we are going to check the answers. I'm getting problem here, trouble.